Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style, and today I'm going to be answering a question. I have a young man who's interested in a career in finance, and he's asking me, how should he dress? Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. In addition, if you find this useful, you like this video, please click on the like below. And I'm also going to link you to an article which is going to help expand on some of the ideas I'm talking about, and it'll also link to my free ebook. Okay, so the question I received is from a 23-year-old man with fair, light-colored skin. He's got dark hair, and he is thin. He's around 5'7", and the interesting part is he's actually on the other side of the world. So he's in the Punjab region of India, and it looks like this gentleman is very interested in pursuing an MBA in finance. And he wrote me, and he's concerned because he doesn't want to give up his individuality. He already is a pretty sharp casual dresser, but he's asking, okay, how can I start dressing in a more professional manner, and what's going to look good on my body type? He's got a very thin build, and you know, my experience, I've been to India back in 2006. I spent some time in New Delhi, down to Mumbai, and a few other areas, and vacationed in Kerala, and of course went to the Taj Mahal. But the one thing actually, there's a lot of things I noticed about Indians and the country in general. Amazing country. Whoever's listening to this, if you ever get a chance to go to India, go. Beautiful country, amazing people. But one thing that's very different about Indians, and I think, though, at least from Americans and from what I've seen also in Western Europe, is that you all use a lot more color in India. And that would be, so if you're going to be pursuing a degree, you know, it depends on where you're going to be, you know, keeping your career at. If you're going to be staying there in India, this may not be that big of a deal. But if you're going to be going into the world of finance, that's a very conservative field. And you're going to want to look to get away from darker colored dress shirts. So that would be something, because those are more casual, and you're going to want to go towards lighter colored dress shirts, more conservative clothing. It's just, that's the name of the game in finance, because when it comes down to it, you want to instill trust, because people are trusting you with their money. Obviously, finance is a huge field. I don't know exactly what path you want to go down, but it is something that trust is very important, because you're in an area in which you are dealing with money, and that's something. So the point I was getting at is I often saw really bright colors, and a lot of Indian men, they were I think it's great that they use color more, but I felt sometimes it was a bit overpowering, especially if you're going to be working with Western clients, or you're going to be doing business in the West. So that would be one thing. Be careful of overdoing it with color. Another thing is that you need to pay attention, and at this point, I think you wrote you were 23 years old. So you don't have to change a lot of things, but start focusing on the fit. Another thing I noticed in India is that most of the men, despite having access to tons of cheap tailoring, they never get their clothing altered or adjusted to fit them properly. So make sure that all of your shirts and your suits, all of that is adjusted to fit you properly. You've got a lean build, and you're in a country in which most of the clothing is probably built for men with lean builds. So find things that actually fit you, and make sure you don't have fabric billowing all over the place. Now, the one thing I think is going to be harder to find in India are really good quality shoes. Now, it's harder simply because the price points are often a bit lower, and they're going after, you know, most of the shoes being put out there are glued together. And so you're going to want to look for better quality shoes. You may have to, and if you're going to first spend your money on anything, get a pair of classic dress shoes that are going to last you for a long time. And if you don't know what to look for, go talk with your local cobbler. You guys are very fortunate. In India, you've got access to tons of men who still work on shoes, and see what he can recommend. Maybe he can get you a secondhand pair, which actually he's repaired. Maybe the client never came up to pick them up, and you can get them for pennies on the dollar, and that would be a great step for you. The big thing I think you mentioned is your budget is really low. And in that case, again, don't be afraid to talk to friends and family. Most likely you've got some brothers or you've got uncles who perhaps have clothing which they don't use anymore. They've probably kept it possibly in good condition. And by taking it to a tailor and getting it adjusted, you may be able to walk out looking great. The thing with finance is that you pay attention to the details, and you've got to expect that the men you're going to be around and the women pay attention to the small details. So you need to pay attention to the small details in your clothing. All right, hopefully that helps you, sir, and wish you the best of luck. And if you've got questions, wherever you're at in the world, I'd love to hear from them. And I may not have traveled to your country, and in that case, I'll probably be more general in the information. But in the case I have, hopefully I can provide you some insight. And also, I just love to learn from you as well. So, hope to hear from you. This has been Antonio with Real Men Real Style. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.